Everyone, Dr. Clark here, and what I'm going to do in this video is just give you a brief overview of the yeast experiment. For this experiment, what you're going to do is prepare a simple dough. I've got a recipe for you, and then you're going to track how quickly the yeast are growing by monitoring the dough to measure the dough's doubling time, how long it takes the dough to double in volume. Along with that, you're going to be examining the impacts of two different environmental characteristics on dough doubling time. One of those characteristics is temperature, so what you'll do for that is you'll monitor some dough at room temperature, and you're going to need to track what room temperature actually is, and then some prepared dough that you'll put into a refrigerator. And again, you'll have to determine what refrigeration temperature actually is. The second environmental characteristic that you'll be tracking is the impacts of the dough's initial pH on yeast growth. So for that aspect of the experiment, you'll want to prepare one batch of dough with a neutral pH of around 7, and for the other batch of dough, work with some water where you've added some vinegar to adjust the pH to be closer to 4, so acidic. For both of these experiments, it's important to repeat the experiment multiple times, as the instructions describe, and as you conduct the experiments, use your observations and do some thinking about other factors that could also potentially impact yeast growth rates. One really fun aspect of this experiment is that, unlike most lab experiments, the outcome in this case is edible. I've come up with a list of options for what you can do once you've finished measuring your dough. It's important for this project that you check in with your teammates partway through, both to help keep yourself on track, as well as to see, for example, whether you're observing similar or different outcomes and why that might be the case. Once you've completed the pilot experiment, you should then have a good set of ideas to explore and take this project further for your main experiments.